Hello students, welcome to Royal Palace PU College Jamkhandi online classes. My name is Sanjay sir and I'll be teaching you biology. Today we'll be studying a new topic called as biodiversity in the chapter called as the living world. So let us get started into this particular topic and understand what this topic offers us. So first thing is about the definition and understanding of the word biodiversity. Bio means life, diversity means different, diversity means distribution, diversity means presence of variety of organisms. Earth is not at all same throughout its sphere. Earth does not contain the same kind of temperature. Earth do not contain the same kind of precipitation condition. The earth has got variety of ecosystems or biomes in its body. The earth even has got different organisms and animals present in these places also. So we can go to a definition of biodiversity which tells us that biodiversity is nothing but it is a process or a phenomenon of occurrence of wide variety of species throughout the world, which means that the organisms can be found in polar regions, the organisms can be found in Arctic regions, the organisms can be found in desert regions, the organisms can be found in grasslands, the organisms can be found in tropicals, the organisms can be found in wide variety of places, right? This is the definition of biodiversity, which means that the distribution of wide variety of organisms throughout the biosphere. Now the scientists had started counting and had started understanding, had started identifying wide variety of organisms. Out of that they have calculated a number, and that is in the entire world we can find about 1.7 to 1.8 million organisms till now, which includes in our Indian system as 17 to 18 lakh organisms are present. Now out of these 17 to 18 lakh organisms or 1.7 to 1.8 million organisms, we can say that 1.25 million organisms are animals and 0.5 million organisms are plants, which means that 12.5 lakh organisms are animals and 5 lakh organisms are plants. So what am I saying here? The concentration of animals are more as comparing to plants, and out of these 1.25 million or 12.5 lakh organisms, the insects are higher in number and their number goes to 1.025 million or 10 lakh 2500 organisms, and especially only they are insects. Let me repeat it again. According to scientists' estimation, we have got 1.7 to 1.8 million species, and out of which 1.25 million, out of which 1.25 million organisms are animals and 0.5 million organisms are plants. And out of this total capacity of organisms, especially in animals, 1.025 million organisms are insects itself. Still, the scientists did not fail to discover newer organisms every year. They find different organisms and they go to respected authorities to submit their researches. According to that analysis, each and every year around 15,000 organisms have been discovered, and it was an estimation that around 5 to 30 million organisms are there on this earth. Now we can say that out of this 30 million, we have got the estimation or the discovery of only 1.8 million organisms. The rest organisms are said to be unknown in nature. And if we go to the deep tropical forests and underwater reefs, we can find a lot of unknown organisms, and the scientists haven't stopped yet. They are still researching variety of organisms every year. The scientists have found out another point, that there were some organisms in this planet Earth. Because of the different situations, these organisms have been extincted. Some organisms can be seen under the soil, and there is a specialized field for this called as paleontology. and this field studies only the presence of fossils. Fossils are the dead animal or plant remains that we can see in variety of places. These places, especially in the places called as the rocks, these fossils have got their own impressions. It is believed that around 50 to 100 times more organisms were there before the extinction or in the field of fossils. So we can say that we have got a long history of understanding how many organisms are there, which even includes plants and animals. So there should be a systematic understanding how actually these organisms are there and how actually these organisms have got their morphology, size, shape, anatomy, etc., etc. So there should be a special field called as systematics, which tells us that how to identify the organisms and how to nomenclature the organisms and how to classify the organisms. So this is about the diversity of living organisms.
We have already started a chapter called as the living world, and today we will be discussing about a topic called as systematics. So let's get started. Before understanding this particular topic called as systematics, we need to understand some of the basics of systematics. Here I'll be giving you 3 topics to understand systematics. Topic number 1 is identification. The whole concept of systematics is only one thing, and that is categorizing the organisms, that is dividing the organisms, that is classifying the organisms. And whenever you want to divide an organism, you should have to have the basic knowledge of the different morphological characteristics, different anatomical characteristics, how actually the organism looks like, how actually the organism behaves, how actually or what kind of morphological characteristics does this organism have. That is the topic number 1 called as identification. To do any kind of dividing of an organism or categorizing of an organism, it is must that you should identify that particular organism. And identification is done basically by understanding the morphological characteristics of an organism. After the identification, we need to go further. That is, we have to give a name for it. To any of the organism which is having similar kind of morphological characteristics, we need to give a name. And giving a name or assigning a name to an organism is called as nomenclature. There are so many verifications, so many types, so many methodologies, and in that one corrected methodology which gives us the perfect understanding and nomenclature or naming of an organism is binomial nomenclature. I'll make a separate video about binomial nomenclature, wherein which we will study about the rules of binomial nomenclature or naming an organism. Now coming to the third point called as the classification. Since we identified the organism, since we know what are the morphological characteristics of an organism, since we have already given a name to an organism, now this is the last stage called as dividing the organism depending upon their characters and names. The third category called as classification is nothing but cataloging, characterizing, dividing, grouping organisms with respect to their morphological characteristics and their names. So these are the basics of dividing, grouping organisms with respect to their scientific characterizations. Let me repeat it again. This process includes 3 stages. Stage number 1, identification of organism by identifying and by knowing the different morphological characteristics. Point number 2, that is naming an organism. After that, we need to group, categorize, divide or classify the organisms. Since all these 3 different categories are helpful in dividing organisms or classifying organisms, there is a branch called as taxonomy. So this taxonomy deals with identification, nomenclature and finally classification of organisms. the whole branch of a taxonomy depends on it, and the entire taxonomical studies are completely based on these three basic characteristics. In case of taxonomy, it gives us the idea of one organism or related organisms with their names, with their categories, with their classifications. But there is another field called as systematics. This systematics also studies the identification, nomenclature and classification of organisms or taxonomy, but it also studies an extra work called as the phylogenetic relationship of an organism. What is a phylogenetic relationship? Any organism which is evolutionarily connected to another organism. What about their ancestors? What about their genome? What about their classification? What about their structure? What about their names? How actually they behaved? How actually they are connected to this particular organism? What are the size differences? What are the habit differences, etc., etc. will be studied in case of systematics. This is the basic difference between systematics and taxonomy. That is, taxonomy gives us an idea of grouping the organisms based on the three characters, that is identification, nomenclature and classification, whereas the systematics along with these three topics will also help in understanding the evolutionary relationship of an organism. In case of systematics or taxonomy, the study of only one organism of that particular group will give us an idea, information about the rest of the members present in that group. It is basically done because the organisms should be named, remembered, compared and studied. The systematics and taxonomy and even classification are three words which are generally mentioned as the synonyms. There was a scientist called as Simpson. In 1961, he gave an understanding of systematics, and according to him, systematics is the branch of biology which deals with the diversity of organisms at every level of organization. In case of systematics, we will be studying the organisms, morphology, anatomy, cytology, embryology, fossil relatives, biochemical analysis and ecological relationship. It is helpful for majority of biologists working in different sectors of life, that is agricultural, forestry, medicine, ecology, industry, genetics, physiology, etc., etc. Okay students, I think this is one of the basic understanding of systematics. Let me repeat it once again, that systematics is also a branch of biology which deals with the study and grouping and classification of organisms with respect to their different characteristics. Some characters are similar, placing them in one group. Some characters are different, making another group. There is a basic difference between taxonomy and systematics, and that is, taxonomy gives us an idea of dividing classification of organisms, but the systematics will also help us in understanding the evolutionary relationship of an organism. I hope you understood this small topic of dividing classification of organisms called as systematics. In the next video, I'll come back once again by bringing another topic which is also important and descriptive.